good morning, and welcome to Grow Earth. This is where we grow together in this space. Thank you so much for all your support. Welcome again to all our newbies. And we really want to take the time out to say thank you for all of those that have been supporting throughout the years. So today I want to be talking about something that is revolutionary to the growing, gardening, planting, sowing industry. Amen. And backyard farming, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to be talking about. Seaweed. Yes, seaweed. Well, I'm an islander and I know about seaweed. The only thing I knew about seaweed prior to this video is that I don't like swimming at the beach and having seaweed on me, in my hair, or around me, okay? So seaweed, when I see seaweed on the seashore or in the water, it's not a beautiful sea day or beach day for me. However, as I know that everything that God has created has a purpose, and as a gardener and someone that loves to grow what she eats and plant what and eat what she grows and grows what she eats, right? So I stumbled up on a video, and the video was telling me about seaweed as a fertilizer, and I'm like, a fertilizer? What? They break it down in powder form, which I'll tell you about later. So I told my husband, I'm coastal. I've always been island. So I'm like, we have this in our backyard. I am stone throw away from the beach. So I am like, we have this in our backyard and I am not benefiting from this. So anyway, we went on a little senior day at the beach, and I decided to fill my car with some seaweed. And now I'm going to give you some information about seaweed. Again, this is the type I have. It's washed up. This is dried, of course, because it comes from the water. It's on the shore. Normally they scrape it off the shore if they want the shore to look kind of beautiful. So they will scrape up all this, because no tourists, well, not me, want to go on a nice white sandy beach and lay next to this. But no, I have a change of mind. So I'm going to throw that back there. So what is seaweed? So seaweed is weed from the sea, right? Some kind of algae from the sea, and it comes in 3 different colors. I'm gonna have to look on my notes because this is new to me. It's the first time I'm gonna be using it in the garden, but I also want to share it with you because I've done a little bit of research, not extensively, and stumbling upon even more information that support what I knew before or heard of before. So seaweed has 3 parts to it. We have nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. And let me give you the numbers in that. 0.3% in nitrogen, and we have 0.1 in phosphorus, and we have 1% in potassium. And we know important those are to our gardening, right? And then there are 3 types. We have the
Chlorophyta, Rhodophyta,
Phaeophyta.
That's just for scientific purposes, okay? We just know them, but all of them are good and beneficial to the garden. It doesn't matter if it's green, brown, or red, all right? And what does this do? Let's walk through that before I show you what I'm going to do with it. So this, if you are into organic gardening, where you understand how it is that we feed the soil that feeds the plant, and it's not the other way around, right? So what we do is make sure that the core of our gardening, the major component of the garden, which is the soil, right? That is being treated well and is very beneficial to planting. for lack of a better term. So this kind, the allergy that I'm talking about here, the seaweed, is a supercharge and plant regulator, along with a lot more other things. Please do your research, and maybe you can share if you have been using seaweed, if you knew about using seaweed on your plant, or what are the benefits of using seaweed on your plant. We welcome the information, because together we are growing, right? No man knows everything, and every man know at least one thing, right? Amen. So how can we use this thing? Okay, so we can use it as a mulch, right? And that's kind of like what I'm going to be doing here. So I have this pawpaw tree here, and you see that one pawpaw. We have had pawpaw that comes to a big size, it drops. We have pawpaw that it seems like something is eating it down from the inside. I have not eaten one pawpaw off my pawpaw tree yet. Papaya would be what they call it. Jamaican terms is papa. So papaya, and I want to drop some in here. Along with that, I have some sage right here. Let me see if you can see that. You might see me kind of going a little bit fast because I want to cover all my video. So right here I have sage. Right here I have ginger. And over there I have a quinoa spinach. And I think I have tomato and a little bit of cranberry sage that I'm working on. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take up my salt is on it. I'm not worried about the salt. You can also wash, if you had it when it was not this dry, it kind of wet like this, and you want to wash your salt off, that's fine. If you want to let it stay, that's fine. I'm gonna just work it around, break it down, and throw it in my garden, and kind of just leave it in the soil to break down. That's one way I'm gonna do it. So as you can see, I'm breaking it down and throwing it in the garden, just in the clumps that it is. But another way, so this is doing it as if it's mulch. So I'm using it to mulch the top surface of the garden, because my plants are already planted, right? And I still want to benefit from that quickly. There's another way you can benefit from that, by adding that to your compost, and that will break down with your compost. And when your compost is ready, that will add to all of that benefit from your compost. You can do it that way. Another way you can do it is by drying it and powdering it out. You can buy a coffee grinder for your garden, and you grind up your things that are good, and your eggshells. I do that. Now I'm gonna add to that my seaweed and other things that you might grind up to throw on the top surface of your soil. Another way you can do that is to liquefy that. How do you liquefy that? You want to put that in like a paint pan, the plastic gallon paint pan, or any other buckets, tubs, or half a drum that you have around the yard, because we love to recycle as well. You can get old wash pan, whatever that is. Get your seaweed, pour it down in there, submerge all the seaweed under the water, yeah, that's what I mean, and let the water cover that, and let that sit for 4 to 6 weeks. The longer you let it sit, the better it is, but I should also warn you that it might come with a stench. So bear that in mind. Then you strain it off when it has broken down, preferably 4 to 6 weeks, and then pour that on your plant in ratio form. I don't really do ratio too well, but because that's a lot of fraction that I just it mess me up sometimes. So you might want to dilute that, or you might want to test that out a little bit. I'm gonna try if I can link one of the video that I was watching to this, where he gives a more, they're called Growing Better, and they're on Facebook. I'm going to see if I find the link where you can probably find out more about the numbers of the ratio in the liquid. I kind of just like, my gardening technique is I learn as I go. Some things I know how to do, some things I don't, and some things I learn from mistake what not to do. If I'm just that type of a person. If you're more structured and meticulous, and you have to know that 1 + 1 is 2 and it has to lie, then go ahead and do further research and find find out how much parts you would put if you liquefy it. That's a little bit more on a longer process, and that takes a little bit more science. I love the free range way of just throwing it on the soil or throwing it in the compost. And the kind of more challenging one is to dry it and then break it down into a finer powder. But whichever way you choose, at least it's recommended that you do this to your plant at least once a year if you live in the coastal region, or if you can get some whenever you go to the beach or whatever. And remember that this is cheaper than getting it from the store or whatever, that sort of a way. And remember that I was told that it works. I'm just gonna be trying it. So I'm gonna put this down, and I do a lot of container gardening. So I'm gonna just go around now, and just like I did here, I'm just gonna go around and just use it on the top part of my soil, and I'll be watching for results. Please share with us if you have been using seaweed, if you're interested in using seaweed, or what do you know about seaweed. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day. And please remember that we have all we need to live this life, and we will be careful to give God all the glory. He deserves it. He's the creator of all things. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.